Whoa, hold up. Did Jaguar Wright just drop a bombshell accusing Jay-Z of ordering a hit on Takeoff? Just when we thought we were getting some closure on Takeoff's passing, Jaguar comes out swinging with some seriously wild allegations about Jay-Z orchestrating it all. And it doesn't stop there. Jaguar's claiming that Jay-Z allegedly took out Takeoff to send a message to J. Prince Jr. to back off Megan, or else face the consequences. Now here's where it gets even crazier. J. Prince Jr. was reportedly with Takeoff the night he was killed, so it's starting to look like Jay-Z might have set him up to take the fall. So who's the guy the cops arrested for Takeoff's murder in the midst of all this? It's like something straight out of a twisted thriller. But hey, if there's anyone who's gonna spill the tea and untangle this mess, it's Jaguar Wright. So buckle up, folks, because it looks like we're in for a wild ride, with Jaguar spilling all the messy details. Y'all, Nicki Minaj was not joking around when she said that Megan Thee Stallion was Roc Nation's golden child, and that the label had been going over and beyond to protect Megan. Like, that's not crazy enough. Jaguar Wright is also claiming that not only did the label protect Megan, but they allegedly unalived Takeoff so that they could gain total control over Megan and be able to control her career better. I know this sounds crazy, but it actually makes a whole lot of sense if you think about it. First, there's the fact that Takeoff's death has been super shady from the start. In November 2022, Takeoff tragically passed away after getting hit in the crossfire after weapons were fired during an argument that turned messy in a bowling alley in Houston. According to reports, the fight started because Quavo got into an argument with some guys during a dice game. He was losing hard and hated it because he was losing about $7,000. This led to a fight and shots were fired over the dumb argument. The sad part was that Takeoff wasn't even involved in the argument because he was just sitting in a corner and minding his business. He just got up to figure out what was going on with the argument and got hit before he could realize what was going on. An eyewitness at the scene explained what happened, saying, "So Quavo was shooting dice and he was getting his pockets broke off bad. So the dude had an attitude and he tried getting aggressive with the wrong mob ties guys, and dude got on his case. Then somebody they was with jumped up, and that's when everybody bunched up. Then shots just start ringing, but they were coming from somebody Migos was with, but he was shooting wild and hit Takeoff on accident." The eyewitness continued, "The other guys start shooting back and I think he got hit again, but ultimately his own guys killed him, because when he got hit the first time, I seen his body just drop. Takeoff was the coolest, quietest guy in the room the whole time. He wasn't saying a word, just chilling in the cut. He didn't even know what was going on. He just jumped up and got shot out of nowhere." Video footage released by TMZ showed the argument that broke out just before shots were fired. Fans quickly blamed Quavo for this, and he was dragged for getting Takeoff unalive because of his argument. But video footage showed that he was already walking away from the situation when the shots were fired. It was just a tragic situation all around, and in the press statement released by police, they confirmed that Takeoff was DOA and there was nothing that could have been done for him. But here's where things took a turn. Many folks started speculating that there was more to his death than what the police and the industry were letting on. It began to seem like he was caught up in something bigger, like he was used as a pawn in a game. I'm not talking about some spooky ritual sacrifice with voodoo and candles, but more like he was taken out for some specific reasons. One major red flag that had people raising eyebrows was the way he was hit, execution style, right in the head. Now, if you know anything about these situations, you'll agree it's pretty unusual to take a shot to the head in a random fight. That's the kind of thing you see in planned executions, not your run-of-the-mill altercation. What added fuel to the fire was that he was the only one who didn't make it out alive from the shooting, despite not being the only one hit. Two other people were also hit, but thankfully their injuries weren't fatal. They were stable enough to be transported to the hospital in private vehicles. All eyes soon turned to the Prince family because Quavo, Offset, and their crew were hanging with J. Prince's brother Mike Prince and J. Prince's sons, J. Prince Jr. and Jazz Prince. Now, if you're not familiar with J. Prince, let's just say he's a big deal in Houston, and I'll leave it at that. When rappers are in Houston, there's this unspoken rule that they need to show their respects to J. Prince. Word on the street is that he's got some serious connections, like straight up mob ties. So as a sign of respect, they pay their respects to him, and in return, he's got their backs while they're in town. Supposedly, as long as they're cool with J. Prince, they're good to go, no trouble in sight. J. Prince Jr. and his team were at the dice game with Quavo, but what had people really suspicious was how he and his team walked out after Takeoff got hit. Takeoff was lying on the floor and Quavo was crying, but J. Prince Jr. just sidestepped Takeoff's body and walked away without looking back, even though it was his job to protect Takeoff. Y'all remember how I said there were rumors of Takeoff being sacrificed? Well, a couple of hours before he died, Takeoff and Quavo released a music video for their song Messy, and it was a hot mess. First, there was some dice playing in the video that got messy, and then there was Quavo with a Migos contract and a gun. After which the camera cut directly to Takeoff standing beside a statue of the Grim Reaper with RIP written. Yeah, it's a real hot mess. Eventually, the police arrested a guy named Patrick Xavier Clark for but things just got messier from there. The whole situation screamed cover-up. According to the cops, their investigation pointed to a shot from Patrick's weapon being the one that ended Takeoff's life, citing video footage, ballistics reports, and even fingerprints from a bottle Patrick had been sipping from his evidence. Also, when he was arrested, the police reported that he had purchased plane tickets to Mexico 2 days before being arrested and applied for and received an expedited passport. The state also said he was able to get the passport, and when he was arrested, officers found a large amount of cash on him. At first, the judge refused to grant him bail, saying, "The court finds this behavior suggests, indeed, you pose a flight risk, and therefore the court is going to follow the recommendation of the prosecutor and set your bond at $2 million. However, this bail was later reduced to $1 million, and he was released on house arrest to his parents. However, to this day, Patrick is still maintaining his innocence to this day, claiming that he was just set up. His lawyer spoke to Rolling Stone and said, "He maintains his innocence. We do believe that he has a valid self-defense claim. I don't think they can say with any degree of certainty that it was Patrick who actually fired the shot that took Takeoff's life." She also said, "There was someone else who started the shooting. It was not Patrick Clark. He was in the same position that Takeoff was in. He was trying to get out of there alive as well. He didn't have anything to do with the argument that occurred. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when people started firing weapons." Yeah, suspicions were running wild about this case. Like, how did Clark scrape together $1 million for bail the very next day? Let's be real, he's not exactly swimming in cash, especially not that much cash. And then there's how lightly he's been treated considering the gravity of this case. I mean, he's not even wearing an ankle monitor anymore or stuck on house arrest. He has a curfew from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., which seems pretty lenient. It makes you wonder if some big shots are pulling strings for him, maybe in exchange for him taking a fall. The whole thing is tragic, no doubt, but according to Jaguar Wright, it wasn't just some accident. She's claiming Takeoff was allegedly taken out on orders from the big boss at Roc Nation, Jay-Z. Now, you might be scratching your head wondering what Jay-Z's got to do with Takeoff. Well, buckle up. Cat Williams was the first to hint that there was more to Takeoff's demise than meets the eye. He suggested that in Hollywood, death can be a real cash cow and hinted that some folks were set to profit big time from his passing. Cat might have kept it vague, but Jaguar, she didn't hold back. Recently, she spilled the beans about Takeoff's passing, alleging that Jay-Z had ordered a hit on him. According to Jaguar, it's all connected to a messy situation involving Jay-Z, J. Prince Jr., and Megan Thee Stallion. Back in 2018, when Megan was just breaking into the scene, she got signed by J. Prince Jr. to 1501 Entertainment. But as she blew up, she decided she wanted out of her contract, which put a strain on her relationship with J. Prince. Understandably, he wasn't about to let her walk since she was making him serious cash. Carl Crawford dragged her on Instagram, accusing her of playing the victim and hiding behind Roc Nation's protection. He said, "Stop playing the victim, the Stallion. You haven't paid for one show since 2019, hiding behind Roc Nation. You can keep that BS mixtape and send over that straight drop whenever you're ready." J. Prince Jr. also accused her of the same thing, saying, "For years, we have stood quietly by as Megan Thee Stallion and the management at Roc Nation had lied about Carl Crawford and his 1501 label." According to Jaguar Wright, there was a lot of behind-the-scenes drama because Roc Nation was gunning to take control of Megan. She's got a management deal with them, and as their star player, they wanted to snatch her away from J. Prince, Carl Crawford, and 1501 Entertainment, even though those were the folks who first discovered her. She hadn't even fulfilled her contractual obligations to their label yet. But Roc Nation wasn't playing around. They were dead set on keeping Megan in their corner, considering her their crown jewel. Interestingly enough, several industry insiders have reported that Jay-Z went to great lengths to protect Megan. For instance, after Tory Lanez was found guilty, his dad let loose outside the courthouse, accusing Jay-Z and Roc Nation of pulling strings behind the scenes and even insinuating that Jay-Z had a hand in Tory's guilty verdict.
You want to know how I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes. Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it.
He also accused Jay-Z of allegedly buying off the independent witness, Sean Kelly, because Kelly started acting a type of way after he met with some people from Roc Nation.
Only independent witness in this courtroom is a man whose name is Sean Kelly. He came to court, and our attorneys, he would not even shake their hand after he went upstairs with Kathy Taw and Alex Bott.
They met on Saturday before. They met on Saturday.
With our witness.
There's also this old footage where Tory claimed that he got threatened by someone from Roc Nation to keep his mouth shut and not say anything regarding the case.
I get a call from Roc Nation that says, "Yo, we heard you're gonna make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement."
Also, Nicki Minaj revealed a couple of weeks ago that Jay-Z and Roc Nation were funding Megan, and they were enabling her. In February, Nicki tweeted, "Told me to drink and go to the clinic if I was pregnant, all because I wouldn't let your funky butt pour liquor down my throat. B thinks she a bully because she get a Roc Nation brunch every year. B mad at party. He told all your tea, but you taking shots at my family? Get up on your good foot, go apologize to your mother, nasty serpent." After struggling for years not to let Megan go, J Prince and 1501 eventually let her go a couple of weeks after Takeoff passed, and Jaguar Wright had a lot to say about this.
Takeoff's death wasn't nothing but a corporate hostile takeover using his life as the god. Oh my God.
Man, R.I.P. Takeoff.
That boy died so they could cash in a motherfucking insurance policy and to cover up the fact that Roc Nation was ripping Megan away from 300. I guess nobody's paying attention to the fact that complete control of Megan Thee Stallion's career was taken over right after Takeoff died, and the Prince family were forced to leverage and let her go, even though they did not want to. Isn't that interesting?
Houston politics. Let me ask you, because...
and I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh. Okay.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's a really tangled web, and it sheds some light on why Quavo has been tight-lipped about Takeoff's passing. Fans have noticed how he appears shook and has never mentioned who was behind it, despite Takeoff being his nephew and someone he cared deeply about. But I want to know how y'all feel about this situation. Drop your thoughts about this in the comments, then check out this next video.